Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Continuing with the stories of the 252 Vaishnava disciples of Sri Gosaiji. Today is reading day 165 and Varta continue from yesterday. Varta 148, the husband and wife Kanojiya Brahmins. Jai Shri Radhe, Sab Vaishnavan ko Jai Shri Krishna. And at that time, Chacha Harivamsji, Santadasji and all the other Vaishnavas had just partaken of Mahaprasad and were sitting down. The couple approached them and prostrated before them. Chachaji and Santadasji inquired of them, "Who are you? Where have you come from?" The Brahmin supplicated, "A goddess sent us here. We live in so-and-so place in Agra. We are Kanojiya Brahmins. You are greatly elevated Vaishnavas and we wish to take shelter in you. Please take us as disciples." Hearing this, Chachaji and Santadasji replied, "You are Brahmins and we are Kshatriyas. It is very improper for you to bow down to us. We are but the servants of Sri Vithalnaji. Therefore the best thing for you to do is go to Gokul and take shelter in Sri Vithalnaji himself. All your wishes will be fulfilled thereby." When they heard this, the Brahmin couple supplicated, "Just by bowing to you, millions of our obstructions and sins have been eradicated. It was told to us by the goddess that this would be so. We have taken refuge in you, so will you now please help us to become Sri Gosaiji's disciples? We are most impure and have been doing bad deeds for countless lifetimes. Through you we will certainly attain salvation." Hearing all this, Santadasji asked Chachaji what he thought they should do. "These are divine souls. They are very anxious to surrender." Chacha Harivamsji felt great compassion for them. He stood up and said, "The Brahmin couple should come with me." Santadasji piped up, "It is the summer month of Jyesht and also the afternoon time. You came yesterday, so at least stay until tomorrow. These two have decided to take shelter already, so take them to Gokul in a couple of days." Hearing these words, Chachaji spoke out, "Sri Gosaiji has appeared on earth purely for the sake of uplifting divine souls. He takes great pains to do so. Therefore, it is not appropriate for us to delay. We should take these souls with us and go straight away. It is no trouble for us to do so." Bhav Prakash. This story instructs us that accomplished Vaishnavas also always act to serve the Lord's purposes. They do whatever is necessary for other embodied souls to attain the Lord. This is no trouble for them at all. This is how upliftment takes place, and they have not a jot of selfish motive in this at all. The poet Krishna Dasji has sung. Rag Malav. The ways, love and beauty of a soul in whose heart Sri Vithalnaji resides are very special. Their face blooms, their kindness radiates, and in their eyes shines Sri Krishna, uplifter of Sri Giriraj mountain. Their nature is courageous. They contribute to the highest good. They never think of themselves and are not worldly. In a single second they can manifest the blissful Lord, and they speak of Sri Hari's pastimes endlessly. You should keep their company with your mind, speech and actions. In this way you will attain the Vraja gopis, who bring all joy. The poet Krishna Das now sings, "My Lord Sri Krishna, who upholds the Sri Giriraj mountain, is the crown jewel of all appreciators of divine loving sentiment and a storehouse of all holy virtue." Part 1 continued. When Sant Das heard this poem, he said, "Truly blessed art thou, Chachaji. You are a very special Vaishnava. I had only asked you to stay here for the sake of having your association. Now please do go and quickly fulfill these devotees' life purpose." Seeing the great benevolence of Chachaji, the Brahmin couple were moved to tears. How merciful are the disciples of Sri Gosaiji. He is ready to go out in this burning hot afternoon's heat for us, for the sake of others' upliftment. Chachaji told the Brahmin couple to go home if they needed to do anything there before leaving, and to then come back as soon as possible. "I shall stand here and wait for you until then." The Brahmin couple answered, "We need nothing to do with our home right now. We will do whatever you tell us. Let's go to Gokul." Hearing this, Chachaji's heart was happy, for he saw that they had a renounced attitude towards their home and lives. He knew that they would receive many divine rewards. He said, "O Brahmins, I understand that you have no concern about your home at the moment, but please bring something with you to present to Sri Gosaiji." The couple went home. The wife picked up her gold jewellery and whatever cash they had. The husband had no wealth as such, for he always gave his wife whatever he was able to bring home, since she was piously and exclusively devoted to her husband and was most pure. However, he did have a copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam, a book full of prayers to Durga, a shaligram stone and a goddess deity. They gathered up all these things, locked their front door and ran back to Chachaji. Then Chachaji and his 4 Vaishnavas took their leave very affectionately from Sant Dasji and then set off for Gokul, taking the Brahmin couple with them. On the road, Chachaji was discussing the Lord's pastimes and the principles of the path of grace. Those 4 Vaishnavas and the Brahmin couple were fully immersed in the nectarian mood of these stories. They forgot about their bodily needs. They did not even feel hunger or thirst. Night fell, and they did not even notice. In the middle of the night, they all arrived in Mohanpur, the village opposite Gokul on the other river bank. Then the Vaishnavas realized they were on the way, and they piped up, "Oh, Chachaji, we have arrived in Mohanpur, the village opposite to Gokul." Chachaji said, "We will stay the night here and proceed to Gokul early in the morning." The Brahmin husband and wife prostrated to Gokul from there. Some boatmen were sitting nearby, and they overheard Chachaji's words. They said to each other, "Sri Gosaiji's disciple Chachaji has come. We should take him across the river." They called over to him and said, "Oh, Chachaji, a boat is ready for you." Chachaji called the 4 Vaishnavas and the Brahmin couple and told them to get up and be ready to go. This is how firmly Sri Gosaiji pulls divine souls to him. Chachaji got into the boat with them all, and the boatman rowed them across. When Chachaji got some money out with which to pay him, the boatman said, "O Maharaj, we have everything we need through your blessings. We lack nothing. We take fares from all the rest of the world who come here, and that is quite enough to make a living." Chachaji there smiled and said nothing. The Brahmin wife offered him 1 rupee, but the boatman said, "I never take money from Sri Gosaiji's disciples. We ourselves are not capable of any seva, but the least we can do is transport them over the river for free." Bhav Prakash. By the great grace of Sri Gosaiji, the boatmen of Gokul are firmly fixed on the path of loving devotion. All the inhabitants of Gokul are divine. Part 1 continued. Chachaji was very pleased with the boatman. He gave him whatever prasad of Sri Navadip Priyaji that he had with him. The boatman said, "Oh yes, that is what I need." Then Chachaji, the 4 Vaishnavas and the Brahmin couple arrived at Sri Gosaiji's door and paid their respects to it by bowing their heads. From inside, Vishnu Das, the door guard, called out, asking, "Who has come here at this hour?" Chachaji greeted him with the Lord's name, and Vishnu Das told them they should go into Sri Gosaiji's Bertak and rest. All of them bowed to the Bertak and then took rest there, after which Chachaji himself took some rest. The Brahmin couple were feeling so much bliss in their hearts that they could not sleep. Chachaji got up a little more than half an hour before sunrise and woke up the Brahmin couple, and the 4 Vaishnavas. They all performed their morning ablutions, bathed, and sat in the Bertak. Sri Gosaiji then got up and came there. Chachaji got the Brahmin couple to prostrate before him. The 4 Vaishnavas all paid their respects. Sri Gosaiji asked him, "Have you just arrived back from Agra?" Chachaji told him, "O Maharaj, this Brahmin couple are from Agra. They are very anxious to take shelter in you. That is why we left Agra in the afternoon and we arrived here last night." The Brahmin husband and wife bowed down to him and supplicated, "O Maharaj, we are very impure beings. We have always been very attached to the material world and have been living like animals. Please bless us by taking us into your shelter and uplift us." Sri Gosaiji was very pleased by their humility. He asked them from where they had gained their knowledge of him and the path. The Brahmin husband replied, "O Maharaj, we used to worship one goddess very faithfully. She would grant us her direct experience every day at midnight. Only after that would we eat or drink. One night, Chachaji came with 4 Vaishnavas and they spent the night on the platform under the tree nearby our door. The goddess spent the whole night fanning Chachaji. Only in the morning did we realize Only in the morning did she come to us. We asked why this was, and she told us all about your divine power and form. That is how we came to know about you. Otherwise, we would still be passing our lives in this age of struggle like deluded embodied souls and might never have known about you." Sri Gosaiji instructed, "When someone has good knowledge of the Lord's greatness and then humbly surrenders to him, such souls are especially blessed with divine rewards." Having said this, Sri Gosaiji went off to perform his daily ablutions. He cleaned his teeth and bathed. After he had applied his tilak, the Brahmin couple came to him and requested him to grant them the Brahmasambandh initiation. Shri Guru Sahib Ji told them that it was normal to have to fast for a day beforehand. The couple piped up, "Oh Maharaj, we have just fasted for 2 days. We fasted that day when the goddess did not come at the usual time, and another day when we were on the road to come to visit you and surrender at your lotus feet." Shri Guru Sahib Ji replied, "Your first fast does not count, since it was done on account of the goddess. It would be much better to just partake of Mahaprasad before taking Brahmasambandh. Yesterday's fast is relevant, so I shall initiate you after Raj Bhog." The couple were delighted and prostrated before Sri Guru Sahib Ji. He then entered his seva in the temple. He woke up Sri Navaneet Priyaji and then offered him his breakfast. When the offerings were accepted back as prasad, he performed the early morning arti. All the Vaishnavas had the Lord's holy sight. The Brahmin couple were with them. After adorning the Lord, Sri Guru Sahib Ji swung the Lord's cradle and then made the lunchtime offerings. When the Rajbhog offerings were accepted back as prasad, Sri Guru Sahib Ji called the couple into the temple. He put tulsi leaves into their hands and granted them the Brahmasambandh initiation. Since this is a more long story, we will pause the recitation here today and continue tomorrow. Sab Vaishnavan ko sab prem sadenya sadar. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.